Hi, let's watch my conducting video. I'm walking up to the podium. We're good. Lucas, stop. My prep wasn't great there because my breath was kind of shallow. But I was prepared to cue Thomas, so that was good. Already I'm shifting my weight back and forth between my 2 feet too much. But my baton grip looks good. My wrist is like flat, so that's good. Like my arm is moving as one unit. Like you had mentioned, I started the crescendo kind of like in the middle of the phrase. I think it was because I was being iffy about what I wanted to do, even though I had the idea in my head.
That second part was a little bit way too slow for me.
Okay.
I tried to beat a little bit harder, but
I think instead of beating harder like I had said, that maybe I could have put my arm out a little bit further so that they'd be able to see it more and I'd have more of a presence in front of the room.
I tried to make eye contact to bring in the rest of the group, but I wasn't getting many eyes there.
Yeah, one point was that I wasn't getting any eyes because no one was really looking at me because they were trying to look at their music, which I understand it's hard, but...
And I love that you are really going after the characters. One suggestion for you was to be, like, if you want the phrase to have a 2-minute crescendo, you can't start here. So you have to really pace those out. So can you start at 2 before beat? Yeah. 2 before beat. Yeah, start right at beat. Right at beat. And then give it something you want at cue.
It took a little while for everyone to get ready before I could prep. I was like, it's like they didn't think they were about to play. Yeah, I said that it was the wrong tempo, but actually they didn't follow me. It was the right tempo with a good breath and they still didn't do anything. My wrist is a little bit higher this time. Oh, never mind, I fixed it. I'm still conducting a little bit hard for the slow part, but I'm doing the phrasing right that time with the crescendo.
So what are you thinking about there?
Right there at Q,
Uh-huh.
I want Brian's part.
Yeah, so why are you looking down at the score? Do you not...
I'm guilty of looking down at the score. The crescendos were in weird spots that I hadn't
Don't look down.
rehearsed without looking down, even though I should have. It would have been easier that way. I still looked down at the score, but it wasn't like I looked and I didn't get stuck, so it wasn't as bad.
How was that?
One thing that I wish I had done was found a different way to cut off as opposed to on the third beat just like letting my hand go up. But with it ending on the third beat, it's a little weird to cut it off that way, I suppose. And then after Brian's rest Matthew had running 16th notes that I was also trying to cue because that's when Brian stopped his little sequential pattern. So I was trying to bring out Matthew's part instead of Brian's.
You are trying to.
So we're starting at 2 again.
You told me to be grounded, so let's see if I do that. Instead of moving as much now, I'm still shifting the weight, but it's more so just in my knees and not like actually rocking back and forth. My right arm has gone a little rogue. I keep hitting the stand. I think that's because my arm is further out, because I had the stand position so that the part that holds the bottom of the paper is like further away from me. But okay, now I'm done. So I think we're supposed to answer these questions next. I'm not positive, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Comment on your posture, eye contact, and baton grip. I think that my posture was fine. Like I stood up straight and everything like that. But the fact that I rock back and forth between my feet, I think that's bad. My eye contact was pretty good because generally when I look down at the score, I would just glance down at it and then I'd be right back up to look at the ensemble. My baton grip was good. It looked relaxed. It was in the proper spot. And I have a habit of my pinky coming up, but it didn't look like it was doing that from the video, or I just couldn't see it. Let's see. Baton grip still. There were times when I was conducting that I could see that my wrist was also producing an ictus point and not just the end of the baton. So there was that. I did make eye contact with the right players at the right times. I practiced that specifically. So, and like in my room, I would turn as if they were in front of me. How well did the group follow you in terms of tempo? Not very well. I tried very hard, and I think that's another thing that led me to beat harder, especially with the first run through, because they weren't following me properly, and I was trying not to give up on them following me. But then the second time through, I just kind of followed, so it wasn't necessarily as hard, but I was still trying to get them to follow me. What did you do that enabled them to follow you, or what did you do that kept them from following you and or being together? What enabled them to follow me was when I finally succumbed to their slower tempo. Were there things that needed to be improved? Probably just my arm being extended and conducting more outwards as opposed to my arms being like dinosaur arms. How well did you show the overall style of the music, especially regarding articulation? I felt that I did that really well. The beginning part with the trumpet and the clarinet, I conducted that really short, which is how I wanted it. And so it was like a bouncy, short ictus. And then the second part, it was a lot bigger and broader, but still kind of... what's the word for it? Heavy? Not, well, yeah, it's kind of heavy. So I was conducting a little bit harder, taking up more space, and overall, the bounce was still there, but it had a slower rebound. How well did I show the dynamics of the music? I didn't do much in terms of dynamics, except, because what was weird was that it went from just the two soloists to it being the group, which in itself changed the dynamics. So when I brought in the group, I think I overall conducted bigger just naturally because I'm conducting 2 more people. So I think that helped the dynamics. And then on top of that, whenever I was going for Brian's part with the rest da-da-da-da-da-da, that's when I showed the crescendos because that's what I wanted to bring out. And then secondly, with Matt's part, after Brian's part had ended with the straight 16ths, I wanted that to come out, so I gave him I didn't give him a crescendo, but I pointed at him instead, just to be like, hey, you come out. Based on your reflection, what are the 2 to 3 biggest areas in which you'd like to improve for next time? I'd like to be more balanced, like more grounded, as opposed to shifting too much and moving because it can be distracting. I could still work on my wrist being 1 unit with my arm, as opposed to creating 2 ictus points with my wrist and with the end of the baton. And I could work on maintaining eye contact with just memorizing the score completely, as opposed to memorizing the score 95% and still having to check for those crescendo spots, because I did have it a majority of the way memorized, and if I had spent maybe like 5 more minutes on it, then I probably would have been able to do it 100%. So next time I might just have to give that extra 5 minutes, and it would be a bunch better, and I could actually look at them the entire time. Okay, that's it. Bye!